Transformative.
Emotional.
Pit-free.
Exposed.
I've seen such a change in how I think, what I think.
It reminded me that, I am a new creation in Christ, and I am a child of God. I am part of the kingdom, and doesn't matter what I went through or what is happening with me, I will always be accepted by Christ.
Take off pastor's cap and be just a servant and coming to receive from God.
What Freedom in Christ is an opportunity to transform churches. But what is the church? It's the members, it's the lives, it's the human beings, the Christians, the believers that are part of this body. And therefore, when they are transformed, churches are transformed. When churches are transformed, we impact nation.
Come and hear about a man. Come and hear from different people about this man who created a man who died on a cross to save us. Come.
Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show, the Freedom in Christ Christian Leadership Conference, the Caribbean Transformational Conference. It's happening this coming Saturday, and in Tobago it's happening on Monday. This morning, let me welcome Pastor, Counselor, and Social Worker Taryn Abner, as well as Trinidad FICM facilitator, as the Freedom in Christ Ministries facilitator, Mr. Gavin Hero. They both join us on set. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. How are we doing this morning?
We're doing fine, and a special good morning to our viewers and those who are streaming. It's an opportunity to speak with you, and we really look forward to it.
Well, let me talk the things. Tell us first of all about the Freedom in Christ Ministries.
Yeah. Well, Freedom in Christ Ministries is really a program, a course that is run. Both my wife and I are facilitators, and we run this program online for a number of small groups around Trinidad and Tobago. And it deals with issues of the heart. It deals with issues of vulnerabilities. It deals with issues of recognizing how I fix me in order to work and to lead others.
Okay.
And it has been a tremendous program, and culminating out of all of that is the international conference, which is what we're having this month in the region. There was one in Jamaica, one in Curacao, and then it ends at the end of this month in Trinidad.
Okay, so it sounds to me like basically therapy through religion. Or therapy through church.
Yeah, well, we don't use the word, two words we don't use, therapy and religion.
Oh,
what
okay.
it is really, it is working with each other, because sometimes you have your challenges and you have your issues, but you don't have somebody to talk to. But you are out there leading, you're in a position, you have to lead others, and it's being able to lead people from a point of exhaustion and burnout while you are going through your storms. So how do I treat with that? How do I deal with that? So it's fixing you to fix others. And
so then why do you use the word therapy? That sounds like therapy.
Well, therapy is more clinical. This is more spiritual.
Well, okay, all right. So it's a more spiritual journey you're taking people on.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly, yeah.
And all right. So what do we expect when we come to the conference that's happening?
Well, we have the conference on Saturday, the 27th, and this is at Faith Assembly International in Arouca. They have partnered with us. And at the conference, we have a number of speakers. We have Pastor Taryn Abner, we have Elder Leon George out of the Evangelical Churches of the West Indies. I am moderating and also speaking. Then we have the international speaker, which is Steve Goss out of the UK. And we'll be treating with a number of topics, a number of issues. And it's not the type of conference where you will come and sit down and write down. Right. It's the conference where you would come, you would participate, and then there's a practical aspect of it where you actually get into break into small groups to share and that type of stuff. But breakfast, lunch is provided, conference materials, and it's the entire day at Faith Assembly International.
All right, we'll get back into the details of what we can expect as well. But Taryn, let me bring you into the conversation here.
Sure.
Do you struggle with that lack of therapy? Because you're saying it's a spiritual journey, but I know that you're also a counselor and a social worker. So this is a spiritual journey, but not therapy.
Well, yeah, it's a spiritual journey. For me, it's, there's no need to separate them at some point. Because when we think about therapy, we think about really addressing the entire being. And so I think that's one of the key points of the Freedom in Christ program. It really does, as we would say, minister or provide healing to different aspects of the person's being. But of course, we understand that the emphasis is looking at where it all begins, which is in the spirit of the man, in the soul of the man. And so I think the Freedom in Christ program addresses that aspect of it.
All right, tell me a little bit about what you plan to talk about at the conference.
And so I am challenged with the task of presenting on the area of forgiveness. And so that my topic is forgiveness from the heart. And I think that's something that's very relevant, very pertinent, very important in this generation and this time, because we understand that we all exist in relationships. And so once we exist in the context of relationship, there will always be conflict. Once there is conflict, there's always the opportunity for persons to be hurt. And once there is hurt, there's also a need for forgiveness in order to maintain relationship. So the Freedom in Christ program sets up a wonderful framework for us to understand forgiveness and therefore appropriate it in our relationship with God and with others.
Understood. How do you begin to research something like forgiveness? How do you begin to go down that journey and say, all right, this is what I think will work for as a general thing? Because, I mean, I imagine it's based very much individually on what you've gone through and what you're willing to make peace with, yeah, to some extent. So how do you even begin to research forgiveness?
Well, you start at the beginning, and all things began with God. Right? And so at the beginning, we understand what's God's model and what's God's heart when it comes to forgiveness. And of course, for us, we look at the picture and the work of Christ in terms of what he represented in the form of forgiveness. A man is on a
70
tree.
times 7, you say?
Yes. Well, yeah, some say 70 times 7. Yeah. So what was the calculator? 490.
That's plenty forgiveness you had to share.
Yeah, every day. Eh?
Every single day. All right, so how can persons be a part of the conference if they want to come down and hear what you guys have to say?
Yeah, well, as I said before, it's at Faith Assembly International in Arouca. It's 8:30 to 4:30 in the evening. People can call 355-6024. Let me repeat that, 355-6024. That's the Secretariat. They are waiting to take your calls. You can register on-site on arrival, or you can register online. You'll get all of the information. Okay. And God has really been good. We've been getting some good sponsors and coverage, and the conference is now literally free. All you have to pay for is your conference material.
Okay.
And that has been a tremendous move in order to get people to come. So we have attendance so far confirmed by churches. We have members of the police service who have acknowledged to come. We have corporate and also church leaders.
Nice.
But more importantly, it's not leaders by titleship, it's leaders with the potential. So we have people who are coming forward and attending, youth especially, because some of the key topics, the choices that you make, choosing to believe the truth, those issues. So we're addressing issues for women, addressing issues for men, for married couples, for the next generation. So it's a holistic approach to the attendance. So we're encouraging people to come down to Faith Assembly. It's 8:30 on Saturday, and have a good time with us.
And then we head to Tobago on the 29th.
And we head to Tobago on the 29th. There's a workshop in Tobago at the Nallis building, and that's free.
Okay.
So we have been able to do that free. And so we're encouraging our Tobago listeners and those who are viewing from Tobago at the Nallis building, 8:30 on Monday morning. It's free. Come down and be part of the workshop.
Fantastic. I'm loving the topics that I hear you mentioned there just now. Choosing to believe the truth.
Yeah.
The truth is a tricky thing, isn't it?
Exactly. And we are mesmerized by so much fake truth today. So it's about choosing to believe the truth and making the right decisions.
A very interesting conference indeed, and it's going to be happening this coming Saturday at, just now I will have it here, Faith Assembly International in Arouca, Trinidad, right?
Yeah, correct.
So we head to Arouca this coming Saturday from 8:30 a.m. It kicks off.
Yes.
And it's more or less free. You just have to pay for your conference material. But you can register by calling 355-6024. And let me say thank you to you both for coming in this morning and for sharing the information. Before we wrap though, I want you to tell me, both Teron and Gavin, tell me, what do you hope people leave with on Saturday?
Teron, you want to go first?
For me, I would again take a branch of what Gavin stated in terms of the content of the course helps to bring person closer to an appreciation of the identity. And that's a fundamental truth. Who you are, of course, and who you are in Christ. And I think that's a fundamental truth. And if you could simply leave with an appreciation that you are accepted, you are secure, you are safe, that's important. And once we get that fundamental belief, I think that's a good thing for you to walk away with.
Gavin?
Before my closing remarks,
go ahead.
we want we want people to know, parents, you know, we have a nursery and we have a junior church in place, so you can bring the kids, you can leave the kids there, and you can be part of the conference, because we have a tremendous system being coordinated by the Secretariat, so you can come in, all right? Transforming life. Change one life to change a community that could impact the nation.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and all the best this coming Saturday. We add in that to your calendar. Go out and find out who you are and transform your entire life. We take a quick break and come back with more in our morning show. Stay tuned.
Sickness in my body. We serve a mighty God. Mighty, 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 mighty. We serve a mighty God. Mighty, 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 mighty.